Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Last Man Standing, and this is a special episode because we're going to be bringing you the predictions for AEW's upcoming pay-per-view Full Gear. And you know what happens when we make our predictions? It's betting time, and this time, the stipulation is not going to be that the loser shaves. But the stipulation this time is going to be a little bit more personal because you may not know this, but my brother and I are huge football fans, and I'm a die-hard Liverpool fan and he's a die-hard Manchester United fan. I mean, गलती सबसे हो जाती है, but it's okay. But now whoever gets their predictions wrong, because there's a lot riding on this, they're going to have to wear the opponent's jersey for the entirety of next week's episode. So if I win, Shardul will be wearing this beautiful Liverpool jersey for the whole episode next week.
And if I win, he'll have to wear this amazing Manchester United Adidas jersey for the entirety of the next episode. And may the best man win.
I will. Roll the footage, monkeys.
So welcome guys, this is the second edition of Full Gear, and as you know, last year it was a huge success. The main event was absolutely incredible, and the match card for this one as well just sounds really good, and it looks like it's going to tear the house down. So let's get straight into it. The first match is on the buy-in for the NWA Women's Championship, where Serena Deeb defends her title against Allysin K. So Sharang, what do you think is going to happen in this one?
I'm going to go for the upstart Allysin K. I think she can dethrone Serena Deeb. I think it's going to be a good one. So, Allysin K for me.
I think you're being really naive because Serena Deeb is a recently crowned NWA champion. She's very experienced and she's going to demolish Allysin K. So, yeah, Serena Deeb for me retaining the champion and still. And that'll definitely give me the 1-0.
Yeah, and then moving on to Orange Cassidy versus John Silver. What do you think? Who's going to win?
My money and everything is on Orange Cassidy because he's beaten Chris Jericho recently. He's on a good wicket, and John Silver will just be a minor speed bump in his journey, even though John Silver is really good. But Orange Cassidy for me.
I'm inclined to agree with him, but just for fun, I'm going to go for John Silver. But in my heart of hearts, I know Orange Cassidy will win.
Why don't you just wear the United jersey already? Now we move on to the main card of Full Gear, and the first match we wanted to talk about is Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in an ultimate deletion match, which is basically going to be a cinematic style matchup. What do you think is going to happen in this one?
Well, I think since Matt Hardy is the innovator of the cinematic style match, and with all that experience, I'm going to go with Matt Hardy to pick up the win.
Well, I think Sammy Guevara has a really good opportunity because as we remember in the last match, Matt Hardy got severely injured and it was very scary, but did pick up the win against Sammy. But this time Sammy is determined to end Matt Hardy's career. So I think nothing's going to stop him. Sammy Guevara for me.
So next match we have Le Champion Chris Jericho taking on Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And this rivalry has been absolutely incredible. They've had some crazy segments. And last time we left you with La Dinner Debonair. And this is what happened.
Like the wallpaper sticks to the wall,
like the seashore clings to the sea. Let all the others fight and fuss. Whatever happens, we've got us.
we're closer than pages that stick in a book. We're closer than ripples that play in a brook. Wherever you'll find him, you'll find me, just look.
And when it's sleeping time,
That's when we rock.
we start to swing.
Swing to the sky.
Our clocks don't chime.
What a surprise.
They ring.
A ding ding, happy new year.
And while we are swinging, to mention a few, we'll drop in a Chili's, hey young bucks, screw you. We'll beat up a Moxley, whatever we do.
Yeah.
Life is gonna be wee wah wee. For my shadow, hey.
make of that what you will. I've never seen somebody break into song in professional wrestling before. It was something new. It was something different. We liked it. And after... Yeah?
Loved it.
Oh, great. And after that, we saw a debate taking place the very next week where it was a presidential style debate, and we saw people asking Maxwell Jacob Friedman what does he bring to the inner circle. And that's when Eric Bischoff made a surprise appearance on AEW Dynamite and posed the hard questions. And at the end of it, MJF basically said that he's done everything he can to prove that he could be a valuable member to the inner circle. And Chris Jericho agreed basically, and Chris Jericho said that you have done everything, MJF, but you haven't beaten me. So the stipulation was made, if MJF beats Chris Jericho at Full Gear, then MJF will be part of the inner circle. I mean, the stakes couldn't be higher, but I have to, for the very first time, I'm going to bet against Le Champion Chris Jericho because I'm going with Maxwell Jacob Friedman for the win.
Wow, that's a huge gamble. And normally I would also bet on MJF, but we're talking about Chris Jericho here. We just recently celebrated his 30-year anniversary in the company. He is experienced for a good reason, and I think he's got MJF's number. So I think his experience will outshine MJF's agility. So Chris Jericho for me.
Moving on to Cody Triple H Rhodes defending the TNT Championship against Darby Allin. And the reason I call him Triple H Rhodes is because he absolutely buried Brody Lee by beating him and only giving him a 5-week reign and regaining his TNT Championship. And I, for one, am going for Darby Allin to become the TNT Champion at Full Gear.
That is surprising because Cody Rhodes just became champion. I don't think there's any way he's going to lose so quickly, and that too to Darby Allin, who's like weighs 50 kgs basically. And as much as a push they want to give him, he's not going to come up so fast. So I think Cody's going to retain the TNT title. And now we have the AEW tag team titles on the line with FTR defending their championships against the Young Bucks. And this match has been in the making for the last 5 to 10 years, and it's the most anticipated tag team match in this decade.
That's right. The Young Bucks and FTR have been feuding since FTR was in WWE. And the reason for that was because FTR was really pissed that the Young Bucks were voted the #1 tag team in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated guide. And they actually took that mantle from them in 2016. So there's a lot of personal animosity between these two teams about who is the better tag team. And there's a clash of styles also because FTR believe in the ground and pound, whereas the Young Bucks are high flying. So it's a very unique clash of style, and this is, as my brother said, years in the making.
Yeah, and leading up to AEW Dynamite, when finally the Young Bucks became #1 contenders, and we've been seeing them super kicking everyone in the face and just being frustrated as hell. After one of these matches, FTR actually attacked them and ended up injuring Matt Jackson's ankle, which was like a real big problem now because he's limping and stuff. And for some reason, after that, after Matt Jackson suffered that injury, he did an interview with his brother Nick Jackson, and they both announced that if they lose this match, they will not challenge for the AEW tag team titles ever again. I mean, a lot of us wondered why they actually did that, but what Matt Jackson has to say, his explanation for this was that the Bucks have outdone themselves and outperformed themselves when they've been backed into a corner. So they've just done everything. They've added all the pressure to them, and they have to come out as the new tag team champions at Full Gear. And another additional thing is that Tully Blanchard will not be at the corner of FTR. So that's one good thing. So we'll have to see how it plays out. And for me, of course, I'm going for the Young Bucks winning and becoming the new tag team champions. And of course, my brother, why don't you tell them what you're going for?
Well, I'm going for FTR, man.
What?
Yeah, they're going to win because there's no flips, just fists. Top guys out. Well, our predictions are locked in because the next two matches we're going to predict, we have the same wrestlers that we're going for. So the predictions are made, the bet is done. Let's see who comes out on top. So the next match we want to talk about is Adam Hangman Page taking on Kenny Omega in the finals of the Eliminator Tournament to determine the #1 contender for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And we kind of saw this coming, that it would be Kenny Omega versus Adam Hangman Page. And in that Eliminator Tournament, Kenny Omega has performed immaculately. The cleaner is finally beginning to come back because he took on Sonny Kiss and defeated him in 15 seconds. And then Omega went on to face Penta. But he had to actually take on his brother Ray Phoenix. But due to an injury, Penta came in and substituted for Ray Phoenix. And Kenny Omega beat him not in record time, but he did give a great performance. So Kenny Omega is in the final. Then Adam Hangman Page, he had to defeat Colt Cabana in a hard-fought match, and he had to beat Wardlow. I mean, that was a very difficult road to the finals, but Adam Hangman Page has reached the finals, and the storyline is amazing. You can see that Adam Hangman Page is still the anxious cowboy. He knows he has to win this match, otherwise he only has his whiskey that's going to keep him company. Whereas we see Kenny Omega, who's uber confident, who's ready to become the ace of the company and reclaim his destiny to challenge Jon Moxley for that AEW World Heavy Championship and become the world champion in 2021. So both of us have gone for Kenny Omega, the cleaner, to come and win at Full Gear.
Highly anticipated match because two ex-tag teams, they've been best friends also, and now they're going up against each other for that coveted spot of the number one contender for the AEW Championship. So it's going to be just one of the best matches to look out for at Full Gear and this decade. So it's going to be really exciting. Next, we move on to the women's title where Hikaru Shida defends her title against Nyla Rose. And as you recall, Nyla Rose lost her women's championship to Hikaru Shida back at Double or Nothing. And ever since then, Nyla Rose has not found her feet back in AEW. So, Sharang, what do you think is going to happen in this match?
I think I'm going to stick with Hikaru Shida to retain her AEW Women's Championship. She's been a strong champion, so I think she should pull a rabbit out of her hat and retain the title.
I think you're going to lose this prediction as well because Nyla Rose is a beast. She's got Vicky Guerrero on her side and she looks stronger than ever. Hikaru Shida looks a bit vulnerable, and Nyla Rose for me is going to win the championship. And now we come to the main event of the evening, Jon Moxley facing Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match for the AEW title. This match is going to be hardcore AF. Because as we know, Jon Moxley last year faced Kenny Omega at Full Gear in that hardcore match, which was really intense. So I think he's going to outdo himself completely. But Eddie Kingston, who's had an 18-year stint in indie wrestling and been struggling, he kind of called out Jon Moxley that, he sold out and went to WWE and completely forgot about Eddie Kingston in those 18 years. And finally, AEW has given them this platform where they can, come face to face. And Eddie Kingston is finally happy that he also sold out and did everything he could to get that opportunity to face Jon Moxley for the title. And this whole rivalry just intensified immensely last week on the Go Home edition when Eddie Kingston, the king of promos when it comes to AEW, went straight up to Jon Moxley's face and said that this title, once he wins this title, he's going to go to his mother and tell her that this is the reason that she doesn't have a daughter-in-law, and this is the reason that she doesn't have grandkids, because this is the prized possession that they fought for, and finally Eddie Kingston is going to win it and make her proud basically. But Jon Moxley, I mean, these guys have been really good friends, let me remind you, and their families are intertwined and everything. And he himself, Jon Moxley, says that I will have to tell. There's a promise that he'll have to break that he made to Eddie Kingston's mother, which was that he will take care of Eddie Kingston no matter what. But come Full Gear, he's going to put him down. He's going to have to put him down and make him say, I quit, and retain the AEW title. And that's when Eddie Kingston will be left with nothing but his ego. So it became so intense. I'm not even kidding. And this just set off this rivalry. And it's going to be a really good one. We both think Jon Moxley is going to retain the title. And it's just going to be a very intense one. We can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, we both think Jon Moxley retaining and setting up that clash against Kenny Omega at Revolution for the AEW World title, where he finally loses. And that's the end of our predictions episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Do like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and do send this video to all your wrestling buddies and make them aware of this beautiful product known as AEW. And catch us next time when we see someone wearing the jersey that he doesn't want to wear, and we'll see you next time. Do take care, keep wearing your masks, please be safe, stay indoors, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the subscribe button.
And to know everything about All Elite Wrestling, you know who to call. We're the last man standing, and we'll see you